Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the City Council. The meeting will come to order and the clerk will call the roll, please.
Councilmember Clifford.
Here.
Councilmember Conklin.
Here.
Councilmember Hay.
Here.
Councilmember McFadden. Councilmember Ortiz. Here. Councilmember Patterson. Here. Councilmember Spall.
Here.
Vice President Miller.
Here.
President Scott.
Here. I'd like to ask Council to rise for a moment of silence and ask that we remember those who lost their lives in Charlottesville. Councilmember Patterson, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now move to the retirement recognition ceremonies. Will Jacqueline Gerhardt come to the podium along with Councilmember McFadden or Councilmember Haig on his behalf? Yes. Mayor Warren and Director Merklinger.
During Jacqueline's 3 decades of service in the public safety field, her achievements have both the police department and fire dispatcher in the emergency communications department truly improved the quality of life in Rochester. Her work environment is one where conditions change quickly, from a quiet day to an extremely busy one, and her calm demeanor and skills played an integral part in the smooth transition from routine fire to a major incident. Police, firefighters, and EMTs in the field attest to this. Her coworkers counted on her expertise, and new employees valued her knowledge and experience as a trainer. Jacqueline has been involved in training countless new employees. Her willingness to share experience and knowledge made the 911 Center a better place. Her involvement in the successful outcome of many major fires over the years did not go unnoticed. Significant events such as the Hollenbeck Street fire, the motor vehicle accident at the Bounty Harbor Marina on Empire Boulevard, the Charlotte train crash, and more, and the Hazmat at Lakeside Hospital are but a few. Her skill and ability to work with her coworkers and the responders kept everyone safe and able to return home to their loved ones. Jacqueline, your commitment to our citizens and team effort is something to be proud of. Through your actions, you helped save lives, protect property, and assist the public in their time of need. Many thanks for the job well done. Your knowledge and expertise would truly be missed. Have a wonderful retirement.
I just want to say it's been my privilege to serve the citizens of the city of Rochester and the county of Monroe for a few years. And I'm looking forward to enjoying my retirement. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service to the city and the citizens of Rochester. Would Kenneth Richardson come to the podium along with Councilmember McFadden, Mayor Warren, and Chief Simonelli?
I don't think he's there.
Okay. Next, we have the approval of the minutes by Councilmember Conklin.
Thank you, President Scott. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of July 18, 2017 be approved as published in the official sheets of the proceedings.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion carries 9-0.
The following documents are hereby directed to be received and filed. The mayor submits the following: administrative cancellation or refund of erroneous taxes and charges, public disclosure, CDBG participation, quarterly report, Grant Administration, Quarterly Report, MBD Loans and Grants, Semi-Annual Reports, 2016-17 Fiscal Year Shelter Rent Pilots, in lieu of tax receipts, 2016-17, 2017-18 Comida Pilot Billing, 2017-18 Fiscal Year Shelter Rent Pilots, Sequel Determination for the Strong Neighborhood of Play Project, and Introductory number 318. The council submits disclosure of interest forms from Vice President Miller on Introductory number 293, Councilmember Conklin on Introductory number 290, and Introductory number 305. Councilmember Hague on Introductory number 311, and Councilmember Spall on Introductory number 294.
It's time for presentation and reference of petitions and any other communications.
President Scott, I have 200 petitions urging us to reject the proposed project by Rochester Management in Cobb's Hill Park.
Thank you. Are there any others?
Yes. Council President Scott, I have a petition with 24 signatures from my neighbors on Sylvester Street requesting street repair.
Thank you. Those petitions will be received and filed. Now let's move to the reports of standing committees and actions thereon. We'll begin reports of standing committees and actions thereupon with Councilmember Conklin. Finance Committee report, please.
Thank you, President Scott. The Finance Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 290, amending the 2017-18 budget of the library and accepting funds for library facility improvements. Introductory number 291, authorizing an amendatory professional service agreement for legal services. Introductory number 323, amending Chapter 108 of the Municipal Code with respect to taxicabs. Respectfully submitted, Molly Clifford, Adam C. McFadden, Dana K. Miller, Loretta C. Scott, and myself, Carol A. Conklin.
Thank you, Councilmember Conklin. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 290, legislation for a budget amendment relating to the Rochester Public Library. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I have to
Oh,
abstain.
sorry.
I must abstain, President Scott. I'm on the library board.
801. Introductory number 291, legislation for an amendatory agreement with Cohen Law Group. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 323, legislation to amend the municipal code with respect to taxicabs. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Vice President Miller, the Business and Economic Development Committee report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. The Business and Economic Development Committee recommends for consideration the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 316, amending the zoning code by adding the 1201 Elmwood Avenue Planned Development District number 18. Introductory number 317, amending the zoning map by changing the zoning classification of 1201 Elmwood Avenue from Institutional Planned Development number 9, Rochester Psychiatric Center, to Planned Development District number 18, 1201 Elmwood Avenue. Introductory number 318, authorizing purchase options for the redevelopment of sites 4 and 5 of the Inner Loop East Transformation Project. This report is respectfully submitted by Council members Michael A. Patterson, Elaine M. Spall, Council President Loretta C. Scott, and myself, Council Vice President Dana K. Miller.
Thank you, Vice President Miller. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Vice President Miller, you have comments on introductory number 316.
Madam President, yes, thank you. We've had a lot of discussion on this item. Just to read this into the record, we did receive a response from the zoning director reiterating information that is in the environmental determination relating to 1201 Elmwood Avenue. Her comment, and I'm reading it verbatim, is that South Goodman Street is actually a park road does not have any sidewalks. Sending pedestrian traffic from the south side to the north side of Elmwood Avenue seems disingenuous and a bit dangerous. In a meeting that included Commissioner Jones, Jim McIntosh, Terry Rice, Brent Penwarden from MCDOT, Monroe County Department of Transportation, the developer Ralph Titucci, and myself, that would be Zena Lago Negro. We decided that if additional traffic becomes an issue in the Azalea Drive neighborhood, that mitigation measures will be installed or made at the developer's expense, which he agreed to. This information is incorporated in the environmental determination that I issued yesterday, which is binding upon the applicant. We need to wait and see what the impacts are, and in parentheses, real-time data, to be able to determine what the most appropriate traffic mitigation measures will be.
Councilmember McFadden.
We held a public hearing regarding this project on Thursday, and again today we've heard from constituents just at the Speak to Council session. While everyone's opinion should be heard, I think we need to remember that the project will most directly impact the neighbors who live next to it. As the district representative, I feel it is important to weigh in on this matter. I'm in support of this project, as are the neighbors. On Thursday, we heard from neighbors in favor of this project, residents advocating that the project go forward with the light remaining on Azalea. We cannot ignore the needs of city residents, and I will not ignore the needs or the wishes of my constituents, especially those who rely on safety at the intersection of Azalea. I understand some people are concerned about the traffic lights, that they want an additional light at Goodman, but we do not have control over that. The county controls traffic signals. The county DOT reviewed this project and made a recommendation, one that the developer adhered to and one that our zoning board supported. I want to make it known that in the environmental determination, a binding document, that it states that if additional traffic becomes an issue in this neighborhood, that a traffic mitigation measure would be installed at the developer's expense. This is a transformative project for this neighborhood, and I think with the assurance from the developer that if needed, traffic mitigation will be implemented, that today this body should move forward with this project. Thank you.
Councilmember Conklin.
Thank you, President Scott. And I appreciate the clarification, and if I could ask that the council receive in writing the agreement that the developer has agreed to with traffic mitigation. That has been my sole concern, and with those assurances, I will support the zoning amendment.
Good.
Councilmember Spall.
Thank you, President Scott. I agree, and I'm grateful to the nimble action that got this in front of us, and I appreciate that very much. I'm grateful to Dana and Adam for their comments. I do have questions, and I think one of the things that put us sort of in a tizzy today was the discrepancy between the percentage that was coming from the neighborhood and the percentage that was coming from the developer, and it's quite a distinct difference, and neighbors who are here have helped me understand where that may have come from. I don't know if there's any more clarification we need. I will support this project now, given this, this clarification and these comments by my colleagues, but also from Zena. But it was a concern that there seemed to be a wide discrepancy between a proposal that was being approved by 74% and opposed by 71%. I'm sorry that those who oppose it didn't take the time to come talk with us, and that's one of the things that I think is very difficult. It's hard for us to hear comments without actually being able to hear from the people and who they are. So I will support this, and I'm grateful for the back and forth and action that took place today. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Introductory number 316, legislation amending the zoning code by adding the 1201 Elmwood Avenue Plan Development District number 18. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 317, legislation amending the zoning map by changing the classification of 1201 Elmwood Avenue from Institutional Plan Development number 9, Rochester Psychiatric Center, to Plan Development District number 18, 1201 Elmwood Avenue. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 318, legislation for the sale of sites 4 and 5 of the Inner Loop East Transformation Project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Councilmember Ortiz, the Neighborhood and Community Development Committee report, please.
Yes. The Neighborhood and Community Development Committee recommends for adoption the following in entitled legislation. Introductory number 292, authorizing the sale of real estate. Introductory 293, authorizing the acceptance of real estate by donation. Introductory number 294, authorizing agreements and appropriating funds for the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. Introductory 295, approving appointments to the Rochester Environmental Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Introductory 296, authorizing replenishment of home program funds. Introductory 313, authorizing a lease agreement for the Municipal Park Office and the Traffic Violations Agency. Introductory number 322, authorizing an agreement for hosting services and implementation of a community engagement software subscription. Introductory number 188, amending the zoning code chapter 120 of the municipal code with regard to notification requirements for information meetings and public hearings. Introductory number 242, amending the municipal code with respect to the building owner's registry. Neighborhood and Community Development Committee recommends for consideration the following in entitled legislation. Introductory number 314, approving the Consolidated Community Development Plan 2017-18 Annual Action Plan. Introductory number 315, authorizing submission of the Consolidated Community Development Plan 17-18 Annual Action Plan and the execution of grant agreements with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Introductory number 319, amending the zoning code by adding the Education Success Campus Planned Development District number 19. Introductory number 320, amending the zoning map by changing the zoning classification of 977-1017 Lake Avenue to Lakeview Park, 4-22 Lakeview Park, and 3 Fairview Heights to Planned Development District number 19 Education Success Campus. And introductory number 321, amending the zoning map for 956 and 960 West Ridge Road. This report was respectfully submitted by Council Members Molly Clifford, Carolee A. Conklin, Vice President Dana Kim Miller, President Loretta C. Scott, and myself, Jacqueline Ortiz.
Thank you, Councilmember Ortiz. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 188, legislation amending the zoning code with regard to notification requirements. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 242, legislation amending the zoning code with respect to building owners registry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 292, legislation for the sale of 4 properties. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 293, legislation for the acceptance of real estate by donation. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Madam
All
President,
opposed,
I have to abstain from introductory number 293 as a member of the Land Bank Board.
motion carries 8-0-1. Introductory number 294, legislation for the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
President
say nay.
Scott,
Yes.
I have to abstain.
Motion carries 8-0-1. Introductory number 295, legislation approving appointments to the Rochester Environmental Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 296, legislation for the replenishment of home program funds. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 313, legislation for a lease agreement for the Municipal Parking Office and the Traffic Violations Agency. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 314, legislation approving the Consolidated Community Development Plan, the 2017-18 Annual Action Plan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 315, legislation for the submission of the 2017-18 Annual Action Plan and the execution of grant agreements with HUD. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 319, legislation amending the zoning code by adding the Education Success Campus Plan Development District number 19. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 320, legislation amending the zoning map, changing the zoning classification of 977 to 1017 Lake Avenue, 2 Lakeview Park, 4-22 Lakeview Park, and 3 Fairview Heights to Planned Development District number 19. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 321, legislation amending the zoning map for 956 and 960 West Ridge Road. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 322, legislation for an agreement with Envision Sustainability Tools, Inc. for MetroQuest software. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Councilmember Hague, Parks and Public Works Committee report, please.
Thank you, President Scott. The Parks and Public Works Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 297, authorizing an agreement for resident project representation services for the Genesee Valley Park Playground Project. Introductory number 299, appropriating funds for the 2017 Preventive Maintenance Group 5, Arnett Boulevard, Genesee Park Boulevard, Webster Avenue Project. Introductory number 300, authorizing an agreement for the city's annual water main extensions and improvements program. Introductory number 301, authorizing a reimbursement agreement for right-of-way improvements. Introductory number 302, authorizing an agreement with the Center for Employment Opportunities, Inc. The Parks and Public Works Committee recommends for consideration the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 298, authorizing pavement width changes for the school number 16 bus pull-off lane project. This report is respectfully submitted by Council members Michael A. Patterson and Elaine M. Spall, Council Vice President Dana K. Miller, Council President Loretta C. Scott, myself, Council Member Matt Hague.
Thank you, Councilmember Hague. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 297, legislation for resident project representation services for the Genesee Valley Park Playground Project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 298, legislation authorizing pavement width changes for the school number 16 bus pull-off lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 299, legislation for the 2017 Preventive Maintenance Group 5 project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 300, legislation for agreements relating to the city's annual water main extensions and improvements project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 301, legislation for a reimbursement agreement with Eastman Kodak Company for improvements to the right-of-way at 343 State Street. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 302, legislation for an agreement with Center for Employment Opportunities, Inc. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Councilmember McFadden, the Public Safety, Youth, and Recreation Committee report, please.
Madam President, members of the council, the Public Safety, Youth, and Recreation Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory item number 303, appropriating funds for the Force Science Certification course. Introductory item number 304, appropriating funds and authorizing an agreement to support community programs. Introductory item number 305, appropriating funds and authorizing an agreement with the Rochester Area Crime Stoppers, Inc. Introductory item number 306, authorizing grant agreements and funding for Rochester Police Department violence prevention and community policing programs. Introductory item number 307, bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $2,600,000 bonds of said city to finance costs for the replacement of Firetruck 4, Firetruck 5, and Hazmat Step Van 2. Introductory item number 308, adoption of Monroe County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. Introductory item number 309, appropriating funds for the smoke detector installation program. Introductory item number 310, authorizing an agreement with the Center for Teen Empowerment, Inc., related to the Southwest Youth Organizing Project. Introductory item number 311, authorizing funding and amendatory agreements for the Comprehensive Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Program. Introductory item number 312, authorizing an agreement with All Pro Catalyst LLC related to Champion Academy Mentoring and Empowerment Initiative as amended. Introductory item number 312. This report was respectfully submitted by Councilmember Molly Clifford, Councilmember Matt Hague, Council Vice President Dana K. Miller, Council President Loretta Scott, and myself, Councilmember Adam McFadden.
Thank you, Councilmember McFadden. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 303, legislation for the appropriation of forfeiture funds for the Forced Science Certifications course. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 304, legislation appropriating forfeiture funds for community programs. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 305, legislation appropriating federal forfeiture funds for Crime Stoppers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0.
President Scott, I have to abstain. I'm on the board of Crime Stoppers.
Motion carries 8-0-1. Introductory number 306, legislation for a grant agreement with New York State Division of Criminal Justice. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries 8-1. Introductory number 307, a bond ordinance for the purchase of fire apparatus. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Clifford?
Yes.
Councilmember Conklin?
Yes.
Councilmember Hague?
Yes.
Councilmember McFadden?
C.
Councilmember Ortiz? Councilmember Patterson?
Yes.
Councilmember Spall?
Yes.
Vice President Miller? President Scott?
Yes. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 308, legislation for the adoption of the Monroe County Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 309, legislation for the smoke detector installation program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 310, legislation for an agreement with the Center for Teen Empowerment relating to the Southwest Youth Organizing Project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 311, legislation for the Comprehensive Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Introductory number 312 as amended, legislation for an agreement with All Pro Catalyst LLC for the Youth Mentoring and Empowerment Initiative. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 9-0. Before we move to miscellaneous business, let us adjourn and convene the meeting of the Rochester Urban Renewal Agency. This meeting is adjourned. The meeting will come to order, and the clerk will call the roll.
Agent Conklin? I'm sorry, Agent Clifford.
I'm here.
We're both here.
Agent Conklin?
Here.
Agent Hague?
Here.
Agent McFadden?
In the building.
Agent Ortiz? Agent Patterson? Agent Spall?
Agent Spall is here.
Agent Vice President Miller?
I'm here.
Agent President Scott?
I'm here. Reports of standing committees and actions thereon. Vice Chairman Miller, the Business and Economic Development Committee report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Rochester Urban Renewal Agency's Business and Economic Development Committee recommends for consideration the following entitled legislation. Introductory number URA-4, which authorizes and approves purchase options and endorses qualified developers for redevelopment of Southeast Loop Urban Renewal Area. This is respectfully submitted by Agents Michael A. Patterson and Elaine Spall, Agent Chair Loretta C. Scott, and Agent Vice Chair Dana K. Miller.
Thank you, Vice Chair Miller. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. URA-4, legislation for the land purchase option of 47 Savannah Street and 15 Manhattan Square Drive to 525 East Broad LLC. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Is there any Councilmember McFadden?
Yes, I'd like to address something that was said at the Speak to Council session. We had someone come up and say that we should cancel the Puerto Rican Festival. I'm not of that belief. I'd like to put on the record that the Puerto Rican Festival has not caused anything because none of these actions happened at the actual Puerto Rican Festival. And I just want to be very clear about that. With that being said, I also want to bring up the Care Fest that happened this weekend and the fact that the fire marshal shut down letting any additional folks in. The organizers were under the assumption, I don't know if this is true or not, that they were allowed 6,000 people. They claim only 4,200 was in. So I'd like you to look into what the actual count was and what is the allowable amount of people in that space. Because I would like to go and revisit a story of an experience that I had dealing with the city years ago. For our music festival, we threw a free concert at High Falls in the festival site. And I'll never forget that day because the place wasn't even half full. The fire marshal showed up with Rochester police and deemed it to have too many people, saying it was at capacity when it was not. A few weeks later, there was another city event sponsored there where the complexions of folks were in contrast to the ones who were there just a couple weeks before. And they packed it to capacity to where everyone was on each other's shoulders. And I'll never forget, because Mayor Duffy at the time posted a picture of that and hung it in the lobby when you come in between the A and B building. And they thought it was a great thing. And I said to them that this shows that you are not playing on a level playing field, because that's an event where they were clearly over capacity and there was no fire marshal that showed up, no police officer that showed up to shut it down and say it's to capacity. I would like to see us get to a point where we enforce everything equally. And given this administration's diversity, I'm going to hold you accountable to make sure that that's the case. I wasn't surprised that Duffy would do something like that, his administration, but I am surprised that we would do that. So I would just like to find out what the actual numbers were and what is the capacity limit of that space. Thank you.
We would definitely, Councilmember, we would definitely look into the matter. I think that one of the things, just as you talk about it, we had 4,200 people that were inside the roped off space, but we also had probably about 2,000 people that were outside of that space. And so I'm thinking that that might have been what the fire marshal was talking about, but we will go back and research it.
In line with that, Mayor Warren, would you also, perhaps there's a way we can help people understand, at the festival site at High Falls, I understand the capacity issue because one side is like a fall, you can't go out that way. But I've had a number of people ask me, well, how is it that you can be at capacity at a park that you can leave from any side of it? So, I'm sure there's some explanation, I just don't know.
For the Cara Fest, the park was actually cut off by barriers. And so there were metal barriers that went all the way around because you had to have a ticket to actually get in. So you couldn't necessarily get out any place. However, there are places that are high up at Manhattan Square that you can be at and not be inside the festival. And so there were a lot of people that were there that didn't pay for admission. It's sort of like, I believe, Adam, when did you bring, who was it was over at, across from the courthouse. There was a concert.
Oh, Betty Wright.
Betty Wright, where you had a lot of people that were inside, but you still had a lot of people that were outside that were attending but not paid attendance. And I think that that is where you have the concern, but we'll make sure that, I think that if we told them that they could have 6,000 people on the inside, that is, we should have allowed that because they count on those ticket costs to actually support their events and other things that they do throughout the year, and that cuts into that. And so I'm thinking that based on what I know and the fact that that event was technically what we call sold out, that a lot of people being on the outside was what they counted, even though they weren't paid attendance. But I'll go back and research it and make sure.
We'll follow up, Council.
Thank you. Okay, if there is no miscellaneous business, the Rochester Urban Renewal Agency or City Council, these meetings are adjourned. Mm-hmm.